The referee wouldn't stop it. The crowd was cheering. A 17-year-old boy was getting beaten to death in the ring, and Kirk Douglas jumped over the ropes to stop it himself. What he discovered about that boy would haunt him for the rest of his life. March 14th, 1958. The Olympic Auditorium, Los Angeles. Friday night fights. 10,000 people packed into the arena, screaming for blood. Kirk Douglas was in the third row. He'd been a boxing fan since childhood. Growing up poor in New York, boxing was the only sport that made sense. You fought, you survived. Simple. Tonight's main event was a lightweight bout. Two young fighters. Nobody special, just another Friday night. But something was wrong. The fighter in the blue corner was getting destroyed. He'd been knocked down twice already. His face was a mess of blood and swelling. His legs were rubber, and the referee wouldn't stop the fight. Kirk watched as the kid in blue stumbled back to his feet after the second knockdown. The kid's corner was screaming at him to stay down, but he kept getting up. The fighter in red smelled blood. He moved in for the kill. Kirk looked at the referee. The ref was watching, arms crossed, making no move to intervene. Kirk looked at the ringside doctor. The doctor was checking his watch. Kirk looked at the kid in blue. Really looked at him. The kid was young, too young. 17, maybe 18. Skinny. The kind of skinny that comes from not eating enough. And his eyes were already gone. He was fighting on pure instinct now. His brain had checked out. His body just didn't know it yet. The red fighter threw a combination. Left, right, left. The kid in blue didn't even try to block. He just stood there and took it. The crowd roared. Kirk stood up. "Stop the fight!" Kirk shouted. "Stop the goddamn fight!" Nobody heard him. The noise was too loud. The red fighter threw another punch. The kid in blue went down for the third time. His head bounced off the canvas. The referee started counting. 1, 2, 3. The kid wasn't moving. 4, 5, 6. Kirk pushed past the people in front of him. 7, 8. The kid's eyes fluttered. He was trying to get up. His body was broken, but his will kept pushing. 9. The kid made it to one knee. The referee looked at him, shrugged, let the fight continue. The crowd went insane. Kirk didn't think. He didn't plan. He just moved. He vaulted over the ropes and into the ring. Security guards shouted. The crowd gasped. The announcer's voice cut off mid-sentence. Kirk ran to the kid in blue and put himself between the boy and the red fighter. "This fight is over." The referee rushed over. "What the hell are you doing? You can't be in here. This is a sanctioned bout." Kirk ignored him. He knelt down next to the kid. Hey, can you hear me?" The kid looked up at Kirk through swollen eyes. One eye was completely shut. The other was barely open. I can still fight," the kid mumbled. "I can still—" "No!" Kirk's voice was firm. "You can't, and you don't have to." Security guards were climbing into the ring now. Hands grabbed at Kirk's shoulders. "Get him out of here. Get this maniac out of the ring." Kirk shook them off. He stood up and faced the referee. "Look at this kid. Look at him. He has a concussion. Maybe worse. If you let this fight continue, you're going to watch him die." The referee's face reddened. "I'm the official here. I decide when a fight stops, not some movie star who thinks he's—" Kirk grabbed the referee by the collar. The arena went silent. "If this boy dies tonight," Kirk said quietly, "it's on you. And I will personally make sure every newspaper in this country knows that you watched a 17-year-old get beaten to death and did nothing." Kirk released him. The referee stumbled back. 17? The ref looked at the kid on the canvas. "He's supposed to be 21. That's what his license says." Kirk knelt back down next to the kid. "How old are you?" Kirk asked. The kid hesitated, then barely audible. 17. I got a fake ID. My family needs money. The arena was dead quiet now. 10,000 people listening to a broken kid confess. Kirk helped the boy sit up. What's your name? Marcus. Marcus Delgado. Kirk nodded. Marcus, listen to me. You're done fighting tonight. Maybe done fighting forever. But that's okay, because there's more to life than getting hit in the head. Marcus's good eye filled with tears. You don't understand. My mom is sick. My little brothers need food. This is the only way I can make money. Kirk looked at this kid, 17 years old, fighting with a fake ID, getting his brain scrambled so his family could eat. Kirk made a decision. Not anymore. Kirk helped Marcus to his feet. Security had backed off now, unsure what to do. The referee was arguing with the ringside officials. The red fighter was standing in his corner, confused. Kirk walked Marcus out of the ring. The crowd parted for them. Nobody cheered. Nobody booed. They just watched as Kirk Douglas, one of the most famous men in America, half-carried a bleeding 17-year-old boy out of the Olympic Auditorium. In the parking lot, Kirk put Marcus in his car. Where's your family? Marcus gave him an address. East Los Angeles, one of the poorest neighborhoods in the city. Kirk drove. The Delgado apartment was small, 2 bedrooms for a family of 6. Marcus's mother, Rosa, was in bed, too sick to work. His 4 younger brothers were huddled around a television that barely worked. Rosa tried to stand when Kirk walked in. Marcus, who is... She stopped, stared. You're Kirk Douglas. Kirk helped Marcus to the couch. Your son is a very brave young man, Mrs. Delgado, but he's also very hurt. He needs a doctor. Rosa's face crumpled. We can't afford... I can. Kirk pulled out his wallet. Here's what's going to happen. Marcus is going to see a real doctor tomorrow. He's going to get better. And then we're going to figure out a different way for him to help this family. Rosa stared at the money Kirk placed on the table. Why? She whispered. Why would you do this? You don't know us. Kirk looked at Marcus, lying on the couch, his face swollen beyond recognition. I grew up poor, Mrs. Delgado. My father was a ragman. We didn't always have enough to eat. I know what desperation feels like. Kirk paused. But I also know that there are better ways out than getting your head beaten in. And if I can help Marcus find one of those ways, then that's what I'm going to do. Kirk Douglas didn't just pay for Marcus's medical bills. Over the next 3 years, he paid for Marcus to finish high school. He got him a job at a gym, not as a fighter, but as a trainer's assistant. He taught Marcus that there was more to boxing than taking punches. Marcus had a gift, not for fighting, but for teaching. He could see things in young boxers that others couldn't. He could spot talent. He could develop potential. By 1965, Marcus Delgado was one of the most respected trainers in Los Angeles. By 1975, he had trained his first world champion. By 1990, he had trained 4. 30 years after Kirk Douglas jumped into that ring, Marcus Delgado opened his own gym. He called it Second Chance Boxing. The rules were simple. No fighting until you finished your homework. No fighting until you passed your classes. And absolutely no fake IDs. Marcus trained hundreds of young men over the years. Some became professional fighters. Some became coaches. Some became lawyers and doctors and teachers. But all of them learned the same lesson. There's more to life than getting hit in the head. At the gym's opening ceremony, Kirk Douglas was there. He was 82 years old now, but he still moved like a fighter. Marcus handed Kirk a pair of boxing gloves, framed, under glass. These are the gloves I was wearing that night, Marcus said. The night you jumped into the ring. Kirk took them. His hands trembled slightly. I've kept them all these years, Marcus continued, as a reminder of what I almost lost and what you gave me. Kirk looked at the gloves, looked at Marcus, looked at the gym full of young men learning to fight the right way. I didn't give you anything, Marcus. I just stopped a fight. Marcus shook his head. You gave me my life, Mr. Douglas. You gave me a future, and then you taught me how to give the same thing to others. Marcus gestured at the gym. 4 world champions, 300 young men who didn't end up dead or in prison, all because you jumped over those ropes. Kirk smiled. You know what I remember most about that night? What? Your eyes. Kirk's voice was quiet. When you were on the canvas, barely conscious, your eyes told me everything. You weren't fighting for money. You weren't fighting for glory. You were fighting for your family, for love. Kirk put his hand on Marcus's shoulder. That's what made you special, not your fists, your heart. I just made sure you lived long enough to use it. Marcus pulled Kirk into a hug. Thank you, he whispered, for seeing me, when everyone else just saw another kid getting beat up. Kirk hugged him back. That's what we're supposed to do, Marcus. See each other, really see each other. Everything else is just noise. And sometimes, if you look closely at the old photographs from Hollywood's golden age, you can still see it. Not the fame, not the awards, but the look in a man's eyes when he chose principle over comfort. Kirk Douglas played tough guys on screen, but off-screen, he was tougher. In an industry built on pretending, his courage was the only real thing that lasted. Is there a moment in your life where you wish someone had stood up for you? Or a moment where you stood up for someone else? Hollywood has many secrets, but these are the ones worth telling. If you want to know the real stories, the ones they didn't put in the magazines, you're in the right place. We are peeling back the curtain on the man who never bent. If this story moved you, hit that like button and subscribe to Kirk Douglas, the man who never bent. We are just getting started. There are stories about Bert, about Spartacus, and about the moments that defined a legend. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Leave a comment below. What would you have done in Kirk's position? I'll see you in the next video. Never bend.